Medicine Hat, Alberta is a city of about 65,000 people located about 3 hours southwest of Calgary, but it's also located directly inside my heart this week. Medicine Hat City Council has voted unanimously to boycott the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference in Quebec City to be held later on in the month, on the 30th of May. Medicine Hat Mayor Ted Clugston told Post Media, and I quote, "In Medicine Hat, we just didn't feel like we could spend our taxpayers' money in a province that didn't welcome us. We're cutting and cutting and cutting and telling our employees that they take 0% wage increases. We're cutting how often we water the parks. And then all of a sudden, for our citizens to see 7 of us are flying to Quebec, well, the optics of that perhaps aren't the best either." Now, this defense of the oil and gas industry by Medicine Hat should not be shocking to anyone paying attention to history or the last 150 years. Oil and gas have been a part of Medicine Hat since before Alberta was even Alberta. In 1883, when railroad crews were drilling for water near Medicine Hat, they discovered shallow pools of natural gas just sitting barely below the surface of the soil. When British journalist and author Rudyard Kipling, the author of The Jungle Book, visited Medicine Hat, he noted that in some places it seemed like natural gas was just leaking out of the ground, and he remarked, "This part of the country seems to have all hell for a basement, and the only trapdoor appears to be in Medicine Hat." Now, that's a fun little bit of history. But in modern times, Medicine Hat actually owns a company called Natural Gas and Petroleum Resources, which operates over 4,000 active wells. They manage another 1,500 wells, has 18 active compressor stations and 4 active oil batteries. And those are both in Alberta and Saskatchewan. And that's just the short list, folks. The city also partners in other gas projects. These assets and business partnerships have resulted in $500 million in benefit to the city and people of Medicine Hat over the last 15 years. If I were in Medicine Hat, I would be taking every single attack on the resource sector as an attack on my town. But the first mayor to scold Medicine Hat for not going to this conference, even faster than the mayor of Quebec City, was the mayor of Calgary, Nenshi. Nenshi said, and I quote, "I always think a dialogue is better than taking your puck and going home." Mayor Nenshi should really be embarrassed that a much smaller city like Medicine Hat is taking a much bolder stand for Alberta against Quebec than Calgary ever has.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.